and it's LaMonica. I'm here to talk to you all about the universe in relation to our mentalities and what we experience. So let's talk, okay? Now, our observable universe is ridiculously huge. It stretches billions of light years across, and for every light year equals 6 trillion miles. So you do the math, not me. But anyway, it is huge. It is huge, and I like to think that our brains are the same way. Let's not even talk about the brain. Let's talk about the mind. The mind is capable of the thing that operates the brain. It's infinite. It's just vast in its capability and the possibilities. And if it were not so, we would not be experiencing what we have today. You cannot find the start of it or the ending of it. It just is. So with that in mind, sometimes people tend to forget to look around them, at the beauties as far as inventions and everything that we are using and to go through our everyday life. People do it so redundantly and so automatically that they're not really paying attention to what they're using. And I want you guys to hold that thought for a second, okay? So let's go back to the universe, where it's so vast, it's so big that we're living in a galaxy that has, the Milky Way has billions and billions of suns, and they have may have their own solar systems, which occupies, we don't even know how many planets out there, in our own galaxy alone. Now, outside of our galaxy, you have billions and billions of other galaxies that have their own billions and trillions of star systems out there. So we would never be able to escape our galaxy alone, but in our lifetime it's just absolutely impossible, because our galaxy stretches for hundreds of thousands, over 100,000 light years across. And like I said, a light year is 6 trillion miles, so there's no way in this world that we're going to ever escape physically leaving this galaxy. Now, we have so ingeniously designed telescopes that allow us to peer beyond where we are. And if we weren't able to design these things, we would not know what was out there. We would not have the knowledge that we have today. Same thing with our mentality. It's something that you want to have in this world. You have to look beyond where you are right now as far as the things that you don't want to experience, okay? And a lot of people say, they share their stories or their desires with someone, and then that someone may turn them down, like, you know what, I don't know how you're going to do that, because, you got to go through this thing, you got to go through that thing, and all this stuff, and these steps, and blah, blah, blah. And that's discouraging. For a lot of people, that could be absolutely discouraging, and they don't want to hear that. And you know what? The whole idea just goes back on the back burner or get thrown in the trash, and they're forever just moving around in this lifetime miserable, because they're not expressing their desires. And and that's no fun. That's where stress builds up, because they're doing something in this life that does not fit their what they're supposed to do, what they know they can do, and that's, a lot of people move in that way. A lot of people move where they're doing things in this life that they're not happy about, and it's causing distress, and distress causes disease, which is diseases, and disorders and all these health issues, because the mind is not able to express physically like it should. The whole point in the mind and exchanging with the body thing, what affects the mind affects the body, what affects the body affects the mind, is very real. Now, going back to what you can have, we're living in an infinite universe, and everything around us, this is the part that just mind boggles me when people say, when they shoot their desires down for whatever reason. If you just stop and take a moment and just look at the things, just the things, not the experiences, but the things that exist right now that you are touching and tangibly experiencing with, okay? that if you can look at those things, that alone should boost your faith level up, knowing that, you know what, somebody had to desire this thing. Someone had to think about it, and because they thought about it, they believed in it so much that they were led to everything that it took to make that thing become a tangible experience, not for just them, but maybe even for a host of other people around to witness and experience as well. So that alone should boost up your conviction, because when we're thinking about something, the emotions are like fuel, if you will. It's like fuel that will push that thing into existence. So whether you believe or not, that conviction that you're pushing behind your thought processes is what brings that thing into manifestation just that much quicker. So a lot of the times you see people say, oh, I can get that, that's nothing. I can get that in no time, because it's so easy for them to believe. Whereas a lot of things that people want, they look at it as being putting the size and time on it, like, oh, it's really big, or it's going to take a really long time to get it, because they're comparing it to what society standards are. And sometimes you have to step beyond that and go straight to the source, because the greatest teacher that ever walked this earth said, you have not because you ask not. And asking is not just a flimsy old asking, saying, oh Lord, I wish I could have this thing right here, and I know you're going to do it. And you have to really, really push that thing with conviction, with that faith, that engine, that fuel that pushes that whole belief, that whole thought process that you have, that you desire. There is no favoritism. It all is moving according to your faith. God said that He moves according to your faith. That's what the Bible says. And not just the Bible, but even beyond that, many religious settings teaches that according to your faith you will have, basically, and that's all it is, and I just want to share that with you all, and I hope that helps someone out there, because it excites me. I'm excited. It boosts me up every time, so, and a lot of times, keep your stuff to yourself. You don't have to tell anyone about what it is that you desire, what it is that you want, what it is that you believe you can have, okay? If you walk around in your mind, living and literally experiencing it in your mind, and you hold that long enough, trust me, I am a living witness, because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of stuff that I have right now, if I did not do that, I would not have it today, because I had to be quiet. And a lot of people come to me and say, when did you do this? When did you get that? Well, I didn't know you do this. Well, I didn't know. It ain't meant for them to know. This is a communion between you and the source of all there is. Not amongst everyone else, because they will kill it. They will kill it for you. Especially if you are in a vulnerable state of whether you on the fence of believing you can have or not believing you can have. So when you are very sure about what it is that you want and you desire, you hold that within your own system and your own kingdom, because you have to go within the kingdom of your own self, and you commune with the spirit within you, and you get that reassurance from there. Everything will be fine. You walk in that way, you move and you talk in that way. You don't have to literally be arrogant about it. You don't have to give hints about it. But in your mind, you have to move and talk in that way. You have to literally experience it in your mind. You have to live it in your mind, because reality first starts in the mind. This what we call reality is only an effect. They're all effects of what has been the cause, the source, starting in the mind. That's why reality has the ability to change on a dime. It changes every moment. It is never the same. Even if you go into your house and everything appears to be the same, technically speaking, it is not the same, because there's so many factors that are in play that proves that it's not the same. So it's the same thing with the mind, same thing with understanding what you can have. You can have anything you want in this world, but you have to believe it, and you have to be silent and poised in your conviction. That is all, people. I really hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care now.